It was cold and it was crowded, but you wish that you were where they were. And they're our guest tonight, back from the inauguration, Dr. Eddie Moore Jr. and his son Eddie Moore III, right here on Public Exposure. I'm Stan Emert, and it's absolutely an honor and a pleasure for both of you to be on the show. Welcome to Public Exposure.
Well, thanks for having us, Stan.
Yeah, thank you.
Especially you, Eddie. We always like to have young people on the show because we like to hear a different perspective. And it's okay if you have a different perspective than your dad's. Okay?
All right.
All right, very good. Now, Dr. Moore, you went to the inauguration. When did you decide to go?
I think it was close after the election was won. I decided. I was back and forth whether I should go, whether I shouldn't go, but I think it was maybe a couple weeks after everything was finalized, I decided I think we got to be there.
Now, did you have any connection with the campaign or the Democratic Party? I mean, you weren't an official in the campaign or anything like that?
Nothing like that, nothing like that. I had a few friends, you know, who were in Iowa, kind of the launch state where it all began. You know, a few folks, you know, talking about it and involved in different conversations, but nothing official, nothing structured, nothing, you know, I was doing day to day for the campaign.
You're just an American said, I'm going to the inauguration.
I'm just saying I had to be there for the moment.
Very good. What do you do?
Well, I work at the Bush School. It's a small private school, but I come here originally from Florida, spent 16 years in Iowa where I did all my education, really working in diversity work and education, and now here at the Bush School where I'm the director of diversity programs at the Bush School, and that's located over in Madison Park.
So for the most part, then, your entire professional career has been involving yourself in race relations, ethnic relations, for lack of a better term?
Yeah, I usually sum it up as diversity, leadership, and issues affecting the 21st century, and really getting kids especially ready for a world in the 21st century that's very different than the world I grew up in and others grew up in the 20th century. So I've been spending, yeah, about 15 plus years or so doing that as an educator, as a consultant, but also as an organizer.
So, Eddie, I got to ask you, your dad says, you know, I'm going to take you to a place where it's going to be really, really cold, and you're going to be standing out, not be able to hear much, but you're going to enjoy it. And you said, okay, Dad, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I wore, on the inauguration day, I think I wore 3 thermals that day.
Well, actually, let's go to the picture. Right there it is, right there. So where were you? Eddie, you tell us. Young Eddie.
What?
I mean, we were about, I mean, if this is looking out from where the speaker, where Obama was speaking, right? Mm-hmm. And so we were kind of far back.
So are you waving right now? So can we see? All right, let's go to the next picture. Maybe we'll see in the next one.
Wow.
Is that you up there on the pole right there?
I don't think that's me.
All right, so tell us what it was like. Tell us what it was like on your dad got you up and said, okay, we got to get up early, we got to eat breakfast, then we got to go. Is that what happened?
I mean, it wasn't that early, but yeah, it was pretty much, we fly out 11 o'clock. We flew out at 11.
Well, I'm talking about there the day of the inauguration. Actually, let's go to this next picture because there's just some cold-looking people right here.
Yeah.
And it was hours before.
Yeah, and it was early for us, mainly because the days were short. You know, we got to bed probably 1 o'clock, 1:30, and then we had to get up at 5:36. And when you got to the train station, normally was a 5-minute wait for us to get to the train. Over the 2 days. Inauguration day, it was probably a half hour, 45 minutes. What normally was a 40-minute ride into the city on the 2 days previous on inauguration day was 3 hours.
3 hours?
3 hours. And so...
And you were just in Virginia, just on the other side
just
of
on
the
the
district.
other side of the district, yeah. So it was a long day, Sam. So it was an early morning, and it went through the night. And the thing we didn't factor in was the walking. I mean, as we had to get back, you know, they closed everything down because of the parade route. And so we were very unfamiliar with the city and the city streets. So let's just say we spent a lot of quality time, talking and walking. And
so I want to get this. If you've ever been to Washington, D.C., or if you've been to New York, you know, it's not normal to get, you know, a train ticket or any kind of transit ticket and have somebody's picture on it.
Yeah.
But this was a special day, huh?
That's pretty awesome. I'll keep that for the remainder of my days and then some. And it was pretty special. And for us, again, you know, we're living in Seattle. We ride or have ridden the bus before. I've been to New York before and ridden on the Metro a little bit. But yeah, never received anything like that when you pick up your Metro pass.
Well, there's something else I would want to show right here. Here's your ticket. So how come you were standing out there, you know, with millions of other people?
Well, we thought 6 o'clock was early, but it turns out that 4 o'clock was the winning time. So we tried a couple different times actually to enter, because when you have the tickets we have, they had a couple entry points, but both times we went to those entry points and they just closed down due to the number of people. And so we just made our way a little bit farther back on the mall towards the monument and found the Jumbotron and just blended in with the other hundreds of thousands or so folks in that block of people there.
Eddie, I'm going to ask your dad this, and it might be something different, but what did this opportunity mean to you to get to go inauguration?
I mean, I was excited. I was just, when he told me it was at a speaker series. It was right after the speaker series. We were walking out of the hotel after an after ball party, and he was like, "We should go to the inauguration." I was just, yeah, we should. I was excited to go see the first biracial president sworn in, even though the guy messed up on the, he had to get re-sworn in, but it was amazing too.
You got a few years on you, Dr. Moore.
Yeah.
So what did it mean to you?
You know, it's mixed emotion, you know, Stan. Again, it's a moment in history that I really think I'd see. I know, even though my mom has passed and some other folks in my family who are, you know, folks responsible for raising me and all that, I don't think any of us thought that we'd see this in the first decade of the 21st century. And so for me, it was just I'm still kind of in shock, you know, but also it was, you know, motivating too, you know, because now, I mean, really, you can't not look at this moment and say, man, I got to go to another level and whatever it is I'm doing. So for me, it redefined excellence means for me. And so in the way that I'm shocked and I'm amazed and I'm excited, I'm also motivated to even take my life and the things that I'm doing in my life to a whole nother level, because that's just the way I've been motivated from this moment. Because it couldn't have been easy, you know, even though, you know, Barack's path is a path that, you know, the world knows, so to speak. I mean, to get to that moment and to be the person that he is, a multiracial person, in the White House, in the position of the presidency, it's just, I mean, just both exciting but also motivating.
I want to ask you this from the perspective of an African American. Why was it that you didn't feel like that you would ever see this?
Well, just being not only African American, but also someone who spent, you know, a good portion of my life as a professional dealing with racial issues, and most recently in the last decade, especially doing a lot around privilege and issues associated with white supremacy in that whole philosophy. And so to see how it has impacted just structurally the way leadership and positions in leaderships of power or positions of power across leadership roles in the nation, I mean, you just don't see a whole lot of diversity in those positions. And when you look at the presidency, you know, you look at the 43 before him, I mean, there's some real consistency there. So I just wasn't looking.
Just a little bit there.
I wasn't feeling really ambitious, you know, in especially the first decade. I mean, I thought maybe and hoped, you know, that there would be some attempts and eventually, but I really truly thought that it would be a woman, particularly a white woman, in that position before it would be, you know, someone like Barack Obama. And so that's just historical, mainly tied to what I've known and what I've studied and the work I've been doing socially with history and then today.